Okay, so they're going to come in and spot. Usually, they're going to shut it down because we don't want the engine noise, but normally they run the lights and the engine on, obviously. But they're going to park in a way that's safe for us to do extrication here. For demonstration purposes, they're going to park off to the side and they're going to pull their equipment off. See if he gives a sign.
Riverside, we're on the scene. It looks like we have two vehicles, one outside, one on the wheel. One of them may be damaged. We'll be investigating for injuries. We'll name this as the tower incident. Engine 1 will be in command.
So that's typical radio traffic. It lets the other units know what's going on. What do they have? Is it minor? There's a vehicle on its side. It tells our truck company, and if you guys look to the other side, right behind you guys, the truck company is going to come in as well. And then they're going to work as crews to start extricating the folks. Over on the engine, the company officer, the captain rides in the front. He's the boss.
Craig, IT Truck 1. You have assignment?
So we run firefighter paramedics. So we have both paramedics so we can provide ALS care, advanced life support, and firefighting. Firefighter Wu, as you see, he's grabbing the EMS equipment. He's over here to handle patient care. So we want to get these folks out as soon as we can. These crews right here, I worked with them for many years. They're like top dogs. They're the top gun. I have to slow them down. They can work super efficient. We're actually going to slow it down a little bit. That way I can describe what they're doing as we go. So the engine company, they're going to pull a line, front jump line. They're actually going to get some tools. The captain's going to do this. Is Captain Richmond. I'll introduce him in a little bit. They're actually going to do a walk around and make sure the scene's safe. Truck company at the same time is grabbing the equipment that you see that's in front of you to set up for extrication. Hang on one second, Scott. So what they're going to do, we've got $100,000 worth of equipment right there. Well, one of the best investments I made, Steve, I'll have you do this. Where you got one? He's got a little tool. This thing costs $10. Anybody know what this is? It's a little center punch that'll break the window. And it's a seatbelt cutter, and we'll demonstrate that. But he's actually going to cut one of the windows. He's actually going to break it with this. Go ahead. It's critical that we break the glass, then we can gain access to the folks that are inside. We're actually going to peel and peek the different posts. This is called the A post, B post, and C post. So when you guys hear me reference them, that's what we're talking about. So on the back one, we're actually going to break it with the Halligan. All right? A little more fun, right? Who doesn't like to break stuff? So, but these are just different tools that we have in case we don't have. There we go. And we'll do that with all the windows before we start cutting. We're going to chalk the tires. Normally we would pop them, but for demonstration purposes we won't. Leave the door. So we're going to peel and peek. So we're going to pull because of the airbags. We're actually going to reach inside because there could be some canisters that charge those airbags on the side. When we go to cut, when Chris goes to cut here, we don't want to damage that or cut through that canister because it could act like a little torpedo in there, all right? So we call it peeling and peeking. We're going to render it safe. Also going to cut the battery off because that's what charges the airbags. So we'll be on some car accidents, not all the airbags will go off, but if there's a charge and while we're cutting, we could short circuit it and then the airbags go off and they go off pretty explosively. So that's what the engine crew does, and like I said, we're slowing it way down. The crew would probably have half the car cut by now. But I'm having them go step by step, that way I can explain it. All right? And I know you guys will probably have questions. Let's just hold them till afterwards, and then we'll explain it, okay? What we're doing. You guys are out. So firefighter Huckting, he has the jaws of life, the spreaders. It's actually going to create a purchase point. So these tools are going to work hand in hand. He's going to spread as much as he can to get open spots. There's a nadir pin that holds that door closed. So that nadir pin's not meant to give. These things are meant to have crew stability and to protect the occupants inside, not to be cut apart. So he'll spread so far, and then we'll just take the cutters and cut it. So Chris right now, back up, Stamper. Just get out of there. Let the door go wherever it goes. He's gonna pry open. Then they're gonna move out. Firefighter Branster is gonna come in, and he's gonna cut the 2 hinges for the door. The cutters work at the core, right at where the bolt is, where they cut. There's 200,000 psi that it allows to grab. It's a couple different stages. It'll go, slow down, and then when it kicks in, because it realizes it can't go anymore, that's when the second stage kicks in. The spreaders will spread at about 30,000 psi. The older tools, this is newer technology. The older tools took a lot longer because some of the higher end cars, they're just building them better and better. The tools weren't cutting or prying it as easy. And so the company stepped up and they were able to, keep the technology going. In this door, and then you get done with that door, bring it over to your main. So here, because we're cutting the actual hinge, it's thick metal, a lot thicker than that little sheet metal and stuff, so that secondary part kicks in. So you can see all the gear the guys are wearing. This is what we wear for structure fires, but because of the flash or the potential of a car flashing for fuel and things, this is our typical gear that we'll wear for vehicle for cars. So there's several different ways, because these cars aren't damaged. We never cut anybody out of a perfectly good car. We'll just open the door and help them out. But we'll gain access. A lot of the times the doors are just demolished or they're impeding in on the folks that are inside, so we have to really watch, because we want to pull the vehicle apart, and then let the person get out, or we'll remove them rather than possibly hurting them while we're doing the prying. So firefighter Hunting's using a different method. Instead of spreading the door in the window, he's just going right to where the nadir pin is. If you guys could move over to your left a little bit.